everyone, welcome back to Truth in Time. There are few places on Earth that feel as ancient and impossible at once as the Plateau of Giza. Three great pyramids rise from the desert-like mountains shaped by human hands, silent, precise, and stubbornly enduring. For nearly 5,000 years, they have stood through sand and empire, through flood and conquest, a stubborn conversation across millennia between stone and sky. To understand the Pyramids of Giza, we begin with a world unlike ours. Around 4,500 years ago, along the ribbon of the Nile, a civilization was flourishing. Kings, pharaohs, ruled with religious authority and practical power. Building monuments was not only a display of wealth, it was a political act and a spiritual program. The Great Pyramid, built for Pharaoh Khufu, and its neighbors for Khafre and Menkaure were more than tombs. They were statements of divine kingship, of order set against chaos, and of a society capable of enormous organization. The most famous of the three, the Great Pyramid, is astonishing in scale and precision for centuries. Scholars and travelers tried to imagine how ancient builders moved millions of limestone blocks, weighing multiple tons, and placed them with remarkable accuracy. Recent work suggests a combination of local quarrying, ingenious logistics, and massive human coordination. Workers cut and shaped stone, floated blocks on the Nile in season, dragged them along prepared ramps or slick tracks, and raised them into place with levers, sledges, and teams trained for the task. Importantly, archaeological evidence points to a skilled, organized workforce, not slaves in the popular myth, but fed, housed, and medically attended crews who took pride in their craft. Precision is another part of the puzzle. The Great Pyramid's sides align astonishingly close to true north. Its base is nearly perfectly level across nearly 13 acres. How did they measure, align, and level so precisely? The answers lie in astronomy and careful surveying. Ancient Egyptians watched the stars, used sighting posts and plumb lines, and trusted measured geometry more than myth. Their knowledge combined practical skills, quarrying, masonry, logistics, with intellectual techniques that allowed deliberate orientation and consistent dimensioning across vast structures. Inside, the pyramids contain a surprising mix of cramped passageways, hidden chambers, and symbolic architecture. The Great Pyramid's internal design, passages that slope, chambers aligned to celestial markers, and the so-called King's Chamber with its massive granite sarcophagus, reflects both structural necessity and ritual intention. Later ages added mortuary temples, causeways, and smaller satellite pyramids that completed the funerary complex. The pyramids also played an active role in the state economy and social life. Large construction projects required seasonal labor, often timed to the Nile's inundation when agricultural labor was less demanding. Building pyramids put craftsmen, architects, and administrators to work and required provisioning, transport, and a whole chain of support industries. In that sense, pyramids were engines of state capacity. They showcased management skill as much as religious sentiment. Over the centuries, stories and mystique accumulated. Medieval travelers told tales of hidden chambers and magical energies. Modern sensationalism proposed wild theories, from extraterrestrial assistance to lost technologies, while such claims make for flashy headlines. The real story is more interesting and more human. The pyramids embody long-term social organization, careful empirical knowledge, and the cultural priorities of an ancient people. Archaeology has changed our picture of them. Builders, excavations around Giza have uncovered worker villages, bakeries, tombs of foremen, and evidence of medical care, including healed fractures and bones that show care for the injured. These finds ask us to revise old assumptions. Building the Great Pyramid was not the product of a nameless slave mass. It was a complex project that mobilized expertise. That reframing honors the lives of those who made this ancient wonder possible. We also must consider environmental ingenuity. The Egyptians timed logistics with the Nile's annual cycle. Stones quarried upriver could be transported by boat during flood season, when the river's higher water eased movement. The plateau's local limestone provided the bulk of the core material. Finer white limestone for the outer casing once gleamed like a smooth jewel under the sun. Imagine the Great Pyramid once covered in polished casing stones, a bright beacon in the flat Egyptian landscape. Across time, the pyramids became canvases for new meanings. Conquerors sought to claim or reuse their materials. Later, rulers and ordinary citizens scavenged casing stones for new construction. Weather and earthquakes loosened some stones. Yet the core has endured. Today, a silhouette is both ruin and resilience. The pyramids look older because we see bare blocks rather than polished casings. But their structural bones remain sound. Modern science keeps revealing new details. Non-invasive techniques like ground-penetrating radar, moon radiography, and remote sensing have mapped voids and internal structures without disturbing fragile contexts. Small discoveries, an unexpected chamber here, a mattress of pottery shards there, refine our understanding of ancient routines and priorities. Historians and engineers collaborate to test hypotheses about construction ramps, workforce size, and sequence of building. Each method adds a brushstroke to a huge, slow-motion archaeological portrait. The pyramid's endurance is also a lesson in cultural memory and political symbolism. For pharaohs, building a pyramid was an argument with time, a way to anchor a name in stone that could outlast generations. For later civilizations, the pyramids became signs of antiquity and legitimacy. In the modern era, they became symbols for Egypt itself, central to identity and to national pride. Tourism, archaeology, and conservation all intersect on Giza's plateau, creating economic opportunity and ethical dilemmas about preservation and access. Preservation is a real modern concern. Pollution, urban expansion, tourism pressures, and climate patterns threaten fragile contexts around Giza. Conservationists work to balance public access with safeguarding the site's integrity. Local communities also need economic benefits from tourism, a reminder that heritage management is as much a social and political task as a technical one. The pyramids also prompt deeper philosophical questions. What does it mean to build for the ages? How did a society manage resources, motivate people, and sustain knowledge across generations? In a time when short attention spans and rapid change dominate our culture, the pyramids invite a long view, a consideration of continuity, knowledge transmission, and the human desire to leave a mark. Finally, the pyramids continue to inspire. Artists, poets, engineers, and ordinary visitors stand before those monumental stones and feel small and curious. They demand humility. Civilization can produce both beauty and brutality, technology and ritual, organization and human cost. The Pyramids of Giza are not merely relics to be stared at, they are conversations across time about ingenuity, labor, belief, and meaning. So, next time you see the silhouette of a pyramid against a desert sky, remember more than tombs and rubble. Remember organization and expertise, human ambition and careful measurement, the lives of those who labored and those who watched. The pyramids still stand because they were built with intention, and because people across generations have chosen to keep them standing. If you enjoyed this deep dive, like and subscribe to Truth in Time. Tell us in the comments, which detail surprised you most? The worker villages, the precision of alignment, or the story of the outer casing? We'll follow up with a video on pyramid building techniques and recent scientific discoveries. Thank you for watching. Stay curious.